Hey, what's up, everyone? This is the KMN 1971 back again, this time with a top 50 comics tag. Over a couple of weeks ago, I was tagged by the living legend, Beauty Comics, for a top 50 tag. So I haven't done one of these in like over 2 years, man, but I love doing community stuff like this, and it's always a fun time. One, to do it, and to see where my collection has kind of morphed into. So, without further ado, we're gonna kick it off. I want to start off with like the odd books, like odd shaped books and slabs, just to get them out of the way. And these won't be in any kind of like numerical order, I guess, until we get down to the top 10, because that would just be way too tough. So I love all of these books, man. These books have taken me over, a lifetime of collecting to accrue. So I'm really happy with it. I've also really been enjoying the other top 50 tag videos out there. Comics Crypt, Read Comics. Awesome stuff, guys. And of course, Beauty Comics, the guy that started it all. So once again, Beauty, thank you for tagging me. And let's get this show on the road, shall we? So, kicking it off, we have Savage Tales #1, one of my all-time favorite Conan back issues, and also the first appearance of Man-Thing, who has become kind of a bit of a hot commodity lately within the community. I really enjoyed the Werewolf by Night special from Disney Plus. Gave me those old, warm, nostalgic feelings of watching something called the Creature Double Feature on Saturday mornings. So, good times. Here we have Marvel Preview #4, which is the first appearance of Star-Lord. Also, really looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy 3, as well as the upcoming Guardians Christmas special. So, now if Marvel could only put out a decent Guardians of the Galaxy comic, I'd be a happy guy. Oh yes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, third print, third print. If this was a first print, it would definitely be in my top 5 easily. So love the '80s nostalgia. I'm only pretty much a fair weather. I'm not a hardcore Turtles fan. The last Turtles story I actually read was The Last Ronin, which was actually really good. But as far as having the Turtles on my pull list, I don't think they've actually been a regular on my pull list. But I do enjoy them. Here's some slabs. Big time X-Men fan. As far as my comic book hierarchy goes, the X-Men are in my top 5 for, franchises that I love to collect. So, the all new, all different X-Men #94. Love it. Only CGC 5.5. Here we have Marvel Premiere #15, first appearance of Iron Fist, CGC 6.5. As you can see, not perfect copies, but copies that I could afford and not feel guilty spending a little money on. Captain Atom, what is this? 83, I believe. And this is the first appearance of the Ted Kord Blue Beetle, whom I'm a gigantic nerd for. I love, like the mainstream characters that everyone else loves, like, say, Batman, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Superman. But I'm also a fan of, like everyone else, of those abstract characters that, only the hardcore comic book fans really enjoy, like Blue Beetle, The Question, Travis Morgan, Warlord, stuff like, characters along those lines. So, really happy to have this. And here we have Submariner #1, a book that's really taken off over the past couple of months. I am so psyched for Wakanda Forever, man. That looks definitely going to go to the theater to see that one. I will not be waiting for it to come out on Disney Plus in 45 days. All right. Well, that will get most of the slabs out of the way. Until, like, the top 10. So, with Submariner, we're going to just segue into the Marvel expansion series of 1968, 1969, where Marvel just came out with a bunch of titles and expanded their lineup and never looked back. So Submariner #1 was part of that, as well as this issue right here, the Invincible Iron Man #1. As of lately, I've stopped doing comic book hauls, but if anyone's been wondering what I've been collecting since then, it would be this one book right here. I was going to save this for a comic book haul, an upcoming comic book haul, but seeing that I was tagged for a top 50, I figured, why not? Love this book. I've had it on my list for a very long time, and yeah, great to have it. So it's funny because I ended up just recently selling comics on eBay this past year in an effort to hopefully prepare for the upcoming recession that they've been saying is going to be occurring within the next 8 to 9 months, which they've been saying is going to be happening for the last 8 to 9 months. So I was going to try to be responsible and sell some doubles and put a little bit of extra money in the bank, but instead I ended up spending it all on 2 comics, and this was one of them. All right. Here we have Hulk, The Incredible Hulk 102, which effectively starts off the second volume of the Hulk. The Mighty Thor, number 126. Captain America, number 100. Love that book, man. Who doesn't? Doctor Strange, number 169, a comic as of, well, I want to say just this year it started finally getting the respect that I felt that it deserved. And last but not least, Silver Surfer, number 1. Beautiful, man. I also have S.H.I.E.L.D. number 1 and Captain Marvel number 1, but unfortunately, they could not make the cut for the top 50. Later on, down the road, seeing I won't be doing comic book calls, I might do other top 50s, kind of like my top Marvel 50 comic, my top 50 DC comics, top 50 indie comics, who knows, you know. So the newer additions to the top 50, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, number 76, Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams, classic stuff. Some say this is the kickoff of the Bronze Age. I go for Conan number 1 just because I'm obviously biased, and it represents the anti-hero movement of the 1970s. Moving on, Detective Comics number 400, first appearance of the Man-Bat. Blue Beetle, number 1. First appearance of another one of my favorite abstract characters, The Question. Special Marvel Edition, number 15. First appearance of Shang-Chi. I know people call him Shang-Chi now, but I'm going to stick with Shang-Chi. I'm just too old to change. And I've heard the excuses of that, well, it was created by an American writer that didn't really understand Asian culture, blah, blah, blah. You know, some of these older comics, definitely. I mean, some of the stereotypes don't live up today, but to say Shang-Chi, the pronunciation, you know, I mean, it's the same way of the Shanghai Surprise, the same pronunciation of the Shanghai Surprise, same pronunciation of Shangri-La, so I don't get it. Anywho, Shang-Chi, awesome, one of my favorite characters, one of the card-carrying members of the badasses of the Bronze Age. Star Trek number 1. Anyone that's watched any of my videos, or more than one of my videos, know that I am a gigantic Star Wars nerd, but I am also a gigantic Star Trek fan, at least of the original Star Trek and crew. Malibu Sun, number 13. Now, I know Beauty said not to throw any variants in here, so I technically don't consider this to be a variant, but it is kind of, sort of. This is Malibu Sun, number 13, and this is the negative variant that goes for a little bit more money, where they screwed up the color processing in the back. But technically, not a variant. Superman, number 199, the first race between Superman and the Flash. Sweet. Brave and Bold, number 60, first appearance of Wonder Girl from the Teen Titans, and arguably, maybe the first appearance of the Teen Titans, depending on whom you talk to. DC Comics presents number 26, first appearance of the new Teen Titans, and that is probably my favorite run of all time, one of my favorite creative teams of all time, Marv Wolfman and the late, great George Perez. So definitely will always be considered a top 50 comic. I mean, that is such a pillar of my comic book collecting history. New Teen Titans from the 80s, loved it. Incredible Hulk, number 180, and this is the first cameo appearance of Wolverine. pretty much my favorite character in comics, along with Batman. Let's make a little room. Iron Fist number 14. Speaking of Wolverine, I'll never be able to own the Joker's first appearance, but I'm lucky enough to have the first appearance of Sabretooth, Wolverine's arch nemesis. Sweet. Another one of those abstract characters that is just one of my absolute favorites, Captain Marvel. Well, actually, Marvel Superheroes number 12, featuring the first appearance of Captain Marvel. Own a gigantic chunk of his volume, of his series, and The Death of Captain Marvel by Jim Starlin is probably one of my top 20 favorite comic book stories ever. So, awesome character. Speaking of awesome characters, Luke Cage, Hero for Hire. This is such an awesome Bronze Age type cover too, man. I mean, just look at it. Love that character. Hopefully he makes the jump back along with Daredevil and everyone else over to Disney Plus. And hopefully it's not, like a Disney Plus version of Kingpin that we get either with these characters. So Daredevil, I still have hope a little bit. Hopefully he won't be keeping that yellow and red costume for very long. Star Wars number 42, first appearance of Boba Fett. Kind of. Batman number 232, more Neil Adam, Denny O'Neil classic goodness. This is the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul. Marvel feature number 1, first appearance of the Defenders. Daredevil number 131, first appearance of Bullseye. And, of course, Daredevil number 168, my favorite femme fatale of all time, first appearance of Elektra. And the beginning of Frank Miller totally taking over the title with writing as well as illustrating. Fantastic Four, number 67. And this is the first cameo appearance of Adam Warlock. So, very cool. He went by the name of him at the time. All right, now we get into the nitty-gritty, the stuff that I actually have in top loaders. So, speaking of Adam Warlock, we have the Mighty Thor, number 165. First full appearance of him, a.k.a. Adam Warlock. Ultimate Fallout 4. Ultimate Fallout issue number 4, and this is the first appearance of Miles Morales, which is in a top loader, which is in a poly bag. In the My Light, still sealed in the original poly bag. Whew, jeez. I know some people say of issues of keeping it in the poly bag, you have to get the back of the cover pressed or whatever. So I'll cross that bridge if I ever come across it. But I know that these still go for pretty good money if they're still sealed. So, anywho, San Diego Comic-Con, number 2, and this is the first appearance of Hellboy. Sweet character. I'm surprised that no one has picked up this property as an ongoing series. That's where it would really work. It would be expensive, but it would be so great. More Titans goodness. New Teen Titans, number 2, first appearance of Deathstroke the Terminator. And here is my one cop-out of this top 50. I had to put these two in as a tie because I can't really say I like one more than the other. So, Amazing Spider-Man number 121, Death of Gwen Stacy, as well as Amazing Spider-Man number 122, The Death. Did we get the quotation? Yes, quotation marks. The Death of the Green Goblin. New Mutants number 98, first appearance of everyone's favorite Merc with a Mouth, Deadpool. I just can't stand this cover just because of these shins at the bottom. Oh, God. Amazing Spider-Man number 300, first appearance of Venom. Star Wars Clone Wars number 1, first appearance of Ahsoka Tano. Loved Tales of the Jedi. I ended up binging that last night, all 6 shorts, and it was just fantastic, man. Love that. All right, into the top 10. So, one of my newest additions, just picked this up this year. We have Detective Comics number 359, and this is the other comic along with Iron Man number 1 that I spent all of the money that I accrued from selling comics on eBay. But hey, I look at it as a reinvestment. So this comic has some wear and tear. I forgot to mention that I actually ended up busting it out of a 4.5 slab from PGX. Ugh, what a cheap slab too. But as we all know at PGX, they usually grade like half a grade over all the time. So when comparing and contrasting this with other CGCs 4.0s, that's how I kind of deduce that this was a 4.0. And, it's just a great comic to have. I love it. And yeah, that's it. Cool. Detective Comics first, number 359, first appearance of the Barbara Gordon Batgirl. Sweet. 4.0s usually go for a lot more than what I spent, but sometimes you can use a stigma to your advantage. So, sweet. Staying with the Bat family. Batgirl number... I always say that every time I show this book off. The Batman Adventures, number 12. First appearance of Harley Quinn. Marvel Spotlight, number 5. First appearance of the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. Let me pull in a little bit closer. Nice. Amazing Spider-Man, number 129. As we all know, the first appearance of the Punisher. And that one's only a 5.0, but it was affordable, so I snatched it up. That's one of those books that, like, when I ended up picking it up, I was like, I can't believe I own the first appearance of the Punisher. This is incredible. So, a little bit more room. 2, 3, all right. Brave and Bold, number 54, the first appearance of the Teen Titans. And another one of those books. Once again, I'm like, I could not believe that I owned this when I finally ended up like picking it up. So, sweet book. I have to stop saying sweet. I don't know why. I don't know why I have sweet Tourette's in this video, but apologies. Star Wars number 1. I also have a 9.2 slab of this comic, but this is the one that my first copy of Star Wars number 1 that I ever owned, and it was a gift to me from my brother all the way back in the 1990s. So sentimental value. Conan the Barbarian number 1. Yeah, just sheer joy owning this comic. Conan's one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite series, so very stoked to have that in the collection. All right, down to the last 3. Giant size X-Men number 1, probably only a 6.0, kind of like all these other higher end keys that I have. They're pretty much just mid-grade or in the fine range, but once again, so happy to own this book. This is just a holy grail in my eyes, as well as these last 2. So we have Fantastic Four, number 48, first appearance of the Silver Surfer, and the first cameo appearance of Galactus, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, at their peak, classic joint stuff. CGC 5.5. And this was just a great comic. Oh, I messed up the camera. Damn it. All right, there we go. So, yeah, Fantastic Four, number 48. Another book that, once I purchased it, I kind of just ended up staring at it for like a week before I finally filed it away. And last but never least, and always will be my number 1 book in my collection. I don't see anything taking out the champ, unless maybe I would somehow pick up a higher grade, but there's no way. That's not going to happen. Incredible Hulk, number 181, the first full appearance of Wolverine. Classic cover, classic first appearance, classic confrontation, just beyond classic. And the pride and joy of my collection, easily. Big time Wolverine fan. I just picked up Wolverine number 26 yesterday. So one of the few characters that I'm still following in monthly serialized format. So, along with Batman and Star Wars. So, that's all I have for this time around. This was fun, as it always is. Thank you, Beauty Comics, for tagging me. And yeah, until next time. My next video probably will be my What's in the Spec Box video, which I had originally planned. So until next time, thank you all for watching, liking, and subscribing. Take care. See you later.